they have on the ground, it's a coup. You annul the civilians. The civilians that won these elections are in jail now. The civilians who lost from these elections, we saw them behind General Sisi yesterday in support. So I don't see any other, being popular or being popular among a specific segment of Egyptian. This is Egypt versus Egypt. It's part of Egypt versus another part of Egypt. And the part that supported the coup is happy with it, of course, but the part that did not support the coup is not happy with it.
Okay. Let me go back to all three of you, actually, on this question that is perhaps raised by the one that we've been discussing, because this was posed as a question by one of the BBC's diplomatic correspondents online today. Is there such a thing as a good coup as opposed to a bad coup? Nabila Ramdani.
Well, I don't think so, because what it triggers is actually, it illustrates an unmitigated disaster, not only for the future of a democratic Egypt, but also for the spirit of the Arab Spring. And what it effectively created is a situation where the greatest fear at the moment is that you will have unsavory characters, fighters who will effectively would want to come into Egypt and want to win back the Muslim Brotherhood's mandate coming from volatile parts of the Middle East and North Africa. And that's a situation, so the scenario of a nightmare vision of a regional conflict pitting religious insurgents against highly trained, well-equipped Egyptian servicemen is by no means out of the question.
I suppose, Omar Ashur, just going back to you on that question I just posed, that analysis is about who you've got rid of, how it's done, and what it leads to, yes?
It's pretty much, yes. Basically, all of the cases that we have where an elected institution, regardless of what's the size of the majority, gets removed by the armed forces, this usually leads to negative consequences. And the negative consequences, either a military-dominated political scene or a military dictatorship outright, or a civil war scenario. So in all of the cases, you're either giving the army the upper hand in politics, and this is not a democracy, or you have a military dictatorship, so with the repression and the corruption, and it's not a democracy, or violence and chaos and civil unrest, or a full-fledged civil war. We saw this multiple times in the last century, from Spain 1936 to Mossadegh in Iran 1953, to Chile in 1973, to Turkey in 1980, to Algeria in 1992, and Tajikistan 1992, Sudan 1989. So it's very clear patterns here that leads all of them to negative consequences. Now there is a point though here, because you mentioned the good coup.
Yep.
You had the case of Turkey 1997. The case of Turkey, it was a coup by memorandum. The army, or the National Security Council, dominated by the army, just sent the prime minister a note to resign, and he resigned. But what they did is they did not suspend the constitution, they did not dissolve the parliament, and they did not harass and arrest many of the activists, and they allowed the same figures and the same political party to run, and one of its offshoots, the AKP, became the dominant party since 2002. In Egypt, this did not happen. They suspended the constitution, they dissolved the parliament, and they are arresting the president and the figures that are supposedly loyal to him, including the employees, some of the employees in the presidential administrations, whose houses yesterday got stormed and searched.
Okay, let me bring you